Recording in progress. Mary Lou, I think we're missing about a third of your face.
I know.
It looked before, it looked good.
You mean on screen you are?
I am on screen.
Where's Jordan?
I can't see your mouth.
Where's Jordan?
Oh, he's there.
I haven't changed anything.
You haven't changed anything. Wow. Okay, well, maybe if you could sit on a pillow or something, I don't know. But while you're figuring that out, I'm gonna start and then I'm gonna welcome everybody. All righty. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the SpeechLink podcast. And today we have parent coaching beyond the ordinary tips and tasks to boost children's language. It's a really good practical topic. And before we begin, let's cover disclosures. Regarding financial disclosures, Mary Lou receives an honorarium for this podcast and royalties for her book, Help Your Child Speak, the interactive guidebook. And personally, I too receive an honorarium for this podcast. I'm a regular seminar presenter for SpeechTherapyPD, and I own Speech Dynamics, Inc. Neither of us have non-financial disclosures. Okay. Oh, that looks a whole lot better. Thank you, Mary Lou. Thank you. I have no idea what went on with all of that because you looked great before. I don't know. At any rate, here we go. I'm going to introduce you. And I'm going to say hello to everybody. Happy to see that so many of you are here and attending our live SpeechLink podcast, sponsored, of course, by Speech Therapy PD. And I'm Char Boshart, your speech language pathologist host, and you are more than welcome to participate during our time together. Just type your question or comment into the chat, and I will read it, and Mary Lou will respond. All righty. Okay, this is Mary Lou Brecht Johnson, MS, CCC-SLP, and she is a native of Akron, Ohio, and earned her BA at Ohio Wesleyan University in Ohio, and her master's in the speech and hearing at Washington University in St. Louis. And then Mary Lou headed to Denver for her first clinical position and never left. I love this. For over 40 years as a speech language pathologist at Children's Hospital, Colorado, Mary Lou honed her methods while helping children and their parents. She delighted in each child's success and took to heart each struggle and effort. Her specialty areas were parent-child interaction, coaching, and providing therapy to children with mild to profound speech production challenges. She values her prompt training, along with other techniques that she's acquired over the years. Now, Mary Lou and her husband raised two children. One was a language sponge, and the other had mild language delay and speech challenges that improved in 6 months with the application of her many successful techniques. Great. Yeah, we have a study there of one that we know of. She's now retired from Children's Hospital, Colorado, and maintains her company, Help Your Child Speak. She is an author as well of the book, Help Your Child Speak, the interactive guidebook. And I recommend you check out her book and her blog at, and I'm just going to give that to you right now, helpyourchildspeak.com. Helpyourchildspeak.com. So welcome to the SpeechLink, Mary Lou.
Thank you, Char. It's really a thrill to be here today.
Good. Well, I'm excited to speak with you and to learn from you. In fact, I would consider you an expert on coaching parents, and I'm sure that you're going to give us suggestions on how to do that. But I do have a first question, and I'm thinking that we probably all know the answer to it, but I want to go deeper. And it is important for a young child to receive high quality language stimulation early on. If so, why?
And what are the effects is what you're saying. I missed your first word, actually. What are the effects of early high quality language stimulation?
Um, just that it's important. I want to know why it is important to
Okay.
receive high quality language stimulation early on. And I'm kind of wondering about the high quality. I'm sure that there's qualities that are lower than high quality. Okay.
Quality and quantity. Yes.
Quantity and quantity, all of that. Too many questions, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah.
But why is it important for a
Yeah.
child to receive that high quality language stimulation early on?
Right. Let's enumerate them. So, and
Okay.
I'll go through
Sounds
them,
good.
but brain setup for babies and young
Okay.
children. So,
Good.
0 to 3, 0 to 4 years, whichever spread you want to look at, but the younger the better. And language outcomes in terms of how well our children gain vocabulary and language skills. There are intelligence outcomes, IQ
Hmm.
test outcomes that I can share with everyone, and the ability to be ready for school and to be able to learn academics. And guess what that leads to? Lifetime achievement and lifetime satisfaction, because the brain got set up early enough
Hmm.
before school. We always, I think it's part of our popular culture. Oh, kids go to school to learn. No, they need to have their brain set up as well as possible before they go to kindergarten. Super
Hmm.
important. So, should we plunge into the first one? Brain
Yes.
setup.
Sounds good.
I did some digging this year in the literature, and I floored myself, and I'm going to look at my notes to get the numbers right so I don't blow it. We all know about neuroplasticity, that young brains are very malleable, they make changes easily. I do want everyone on the call to be aware of someone I've read with interest, Dr. Patricia Kuhl, Kuhl, PhD.
Mary Lou, before you go on,
Yep,
somebody has a suggestion here. Are you on a laptop?
I am not on a laptop.
Okay, so it's not a matter of just closing the lid a little bit or
I
leaning
can
it
do
back
that.
or, oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we did we did our setup, didn't we,
We
Char?
did. We
And
actually did.
I was in perfect view, and then I sat down when our course was starting, and the view had changed. So I'm sorry about that.
Okay, that's perfect
Let
now.
us know if we could do
Perfect.
better.
Excellent. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much. So I want you to be aware of the work of Patricia Kuhl, Kuhl, she's co-director at the University of Washington Institute for Learning and Brain Sciences. That's in Seattle. And her writing, her research have been so impeccable in this area. She's the one who talks about parents are baby brain architects. And she
I like
is
that.
this is a quotation from her talk: is the food that develops the structure of the brain. So in our work coaching parents, I feel like parents are really good at the nutrition side of things, making sure their babies have milk, making sure their growing children have food, but we need to let them know that their words are food for the brain, if you want to tuck that one away.
Hmm.
For the
Hmm.
statistics that I need my papers for, a newborn comes into this world with 86 billion, with a B, neurons that need to be connected. 86 billion. That floored me.
Wow.
Every baby has this chance. Every baby has this opportunity to have a brain that gets well set up, if people in the child's life will do so. And another blockbuster is that 700 to 1,000 neurons connect every second. Every second of every day, 700 to 1,000 synapses are being made. What makes those happen? Child-directed speech from parents and other focused caregivers. So
Wow.
this starts
Wow.
our discussion of why is this so important? Why are we going to coach parents? Because we don't have time to lose. Babies and young children don't have time to lose.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and to reinforce that, we have an SLP here, Lauren, And she says, wow, I have a newborn at home, and that blows my mind.
Uh-huh.
I
It,
mean,
it,
it really does.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like you want to just run in and talk with your baby. Just
Yeah.
start
And
interacting.
people need
Yeah.
to be aware. A lot of parents don't think that it does any good to talk to a fresh newborn, or they think they wait till about 6 months to really start to stoke that up. And another fact that I learned was that by 7 months, so about the time that some parents aren't even really talking that much because they think it doesn't matter,
Mhm.
by 7 months, most of the myelin in the brain has been has grown, has been established, has been laid down
Really?
for all the connectivity. And we don't
Wow.
want to wait. And if we have a chance to talk with parents of newborns through that first year, helping them to understand the extreme value. And that I think if we do this, say that talk is food for the brain, child-directed face-to-face talking is what kids need. And in addition to Dr. Cool, I want everyone on the call to know about Lena, if you don't already know about Lena. So it's Lena. It's a .org, lena.org. I have no affiliation with it. I'm not pushing it for any specific personal reason, except that when I go looking for really informative articles about early child language and the benefits of parent talk, those folks have it. Their scientists, their methodology is superb. So I hope that's new information for
What's
someone.
the name of the book, Mary Lou?
Sorry, well, the company, if you go to Lena, Lena
Okay, that's a
dot
company.
org,
Right? Okay.
you will find, every time I go, I seem to see different things, but look for their research papers, their not position statements, but every so often they just coalesce a lot of their research into one document. This one is pretty chatty with illustrations inside early talk. It boils down and distills a number of their early research, but I have some of that to share here today
Good.
too. If people on the call know about a very pivotal book. It was written by Hart and Risley, 1995, Meaningful Differences in the Everyday Experience of Young American Children. They talked about a 30 million word gap between kids who had the most stimulation early and those with the least. And they talked about an achievement gap. Unfortunately, this is before technology, and
Yeah,
they were
big
in the
time.
home. It affected the observations. And unfortunately, too, they drew conclusions about socioeconomic status of parents. And now we know that that doesn't have to make the difference. We can work with parents in any aspect of our society because talk is free and it's rich. And you don't have to have special toys and materials.
Yeah.
So we need to reach every family that we
Yes.
can.
Yes. Oh, good. Okay, so that's the brain. What was your
That's the
next one?
brain. I'm not going to move yet till I tell you that from their research, this blows my mind too.
Okay.
Parents can be high talk or low talk. And the difference in the response to high talk or low talk by children in these studies showed that child vocalizations more than quadrupled. So kids who were talked to more by high talk parents had 4 times the number of spoken words than the kids in the lower group. They get more practice. And then Lena did so much for me in the realm of conversational turns. It's not enough that we convince parents to narrate the heck out of their day and talk, 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 talk. If the children aren't getting a chance and aren't guided to take a turn, we're not getting very far for them. They must have a chance to talk. So kids
Good.
at the high end with parents talking more, their conversational turns differed by slightly more than 5 times. it's a huge multiplier. Every child deserves this opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
All
are
right.
you're okay? Because I know that you were talking about the first 6 months, and that obviously is the parents or the individuals around the child talking. But I mean, there's not a whole lot of interaction. I mean, the eye contact, the
Yes, in the
maybe the
first,
various
yeah,
pitches and
the
you know.
treatment of in my mind, the treatment of birth to 12 months, first birthday, is totally different from then on, when first words typically start around 12 months. So
Okay.
birth to 12 months, we parents and grandparents are just using our parentese and should be our high pitch, our smiling faces, talking about anything. You could talk about the weather. You could talk about the book you're reading. It doesn't matter what you're talking about.
Okay.
Just the fact that the child is getting that engagement. And because, as
Okay.
Dr. Cool says, babies, I love this too, are taking statistics on all of this incoming language. Statistics for speech production, ultimately, but I'm sure on language as well. Her
Yeah.
big thing is on speech production, the phonemes of our language, and what differentiates our language from others. So it's
Interesting.
fascinating.
Yeah, it
So
is.
so three things that I want to make sure, if people on the call are in a position to coach parents, there are three things that I came up with that I don't want to miss. We want to make sure that parents don't think that their babies' brains come preloaded with language. They don't. They come preloaded with potential for learning language, but they have got to get lots and lots of examples of language. And this, we get this too. We see it in writing, we see it online, we might have it told to us. Some parents are defensive about milestone information, et cetera, et cetera. And they might say, well, when my child's ready, he will talk, or he's going to do this in his own time. And 50% of the time they may be right, because in terms of speech delay, about half the kids do move through that eventually without intervention. But again, I feel that we owe it to the kids to encourage the parents to consider, but there are things parents can do to move this process along. We don't just want to leave people in their denial. We want to equip them to do more. And we're going to get into that too.
Yes, yes.
And then the parentese that I talked about before, the high pitch changes and slower rate and stretched vowels. The research shows higher rates of babbling at 1 year. So in that first year, they're soaking all that up, and they are going to be the children who tend to babble more and have larger speaking vocabularies themselves at 24 months and 33 months. And I already mentioned the myelination before 7 months, most of it being done. So we can move on from that.
Okay, well, we do have a question here, Mary Lou,
Okay.
from Deb. Do you have the citation for 50% of language delay meeting their own milestone without intervention? Do you have that? Or do you know what
Well,
it is?
no, yeah, I don't know how fast I can put my hands on
Okay,
it.
I did send, was it on that reference sheet that you gave me that I sent in?
I'm not
No?
sure. I
Okay.
thought about this today, because as I toss these things out without substantiation and journalism, because this is a conversation and not a course, I didn't
Yes.
come equipped with those things, but I certainly can make them available. How will I do that,
Okay.
Char?
Well, I'm going to pull up your reference sheet that I sent to Yumi to put on. So go ahead and keep going, and I'll
Let's keep
see if
going.
I can pull up the sheet, and um, we'll talk, and we'll see if it's
And
on there.
you'll make sure not to lose that good question.
Yes.
So we're going to move on to our next section, Char.
Okay. Yes.
Do you want me to
Sounds
lead
good.
in to it?
Go for it. What is our next section?
Okay, coaching parents to identify how they currently speak to their young children,
Yes.
whether it's by using questions, commands / directives, statements, and exclamations.
Okay. I like this. Yeah, this is a good practical one.
This I'm staunch about, and over the years got stronger about, that it's pointless for us to give parents a list of our top 10 tips, our top 12 tips, our top 5 tips to help them to boost their children's talking if we don't hit this baseline foundational skill. And that is the fact that parents as a group tend to ask their children a lot of questions. And I don't know if I have a source for this, just my feeling that the older a child gets, approaches 18 months, 2 years, isn't talking much at all, the questions increase. And I've asked parents, and when we had a relationship and I could ask such a question, do you ask questions because you're hoping your child will answer you? Because they're so desperate to hear words. And
Okay.
they will nod as you just did, Char.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure they do.
yeah. So my feeling about questions is that children either ignore them or they toss out a yeah or a no. And I also, if I have a good relationship with a parent, I can say, are those the words you want to mostly hear? Yeah and no, or to be ignored? And they'll say no. They're ready for regular words, banana and ball and car and all of those. So, and mommy and daddy. So I do say to parents, some ways of talking are better than others to help children learn to talk. But I go after the discovery process for them so they understand, they notice and understand that whether or not they are asking mostly questions. And I have to teach parents, even a single word can be a question. Car, if the rising intonation is there, it is now a question to the child's brain, and it will be ignored or answered yes, yeah, or no. So we start by having the parents record a sample, preferably at home, preferably let them choose the talking time. It's in the kitchen, it's around the meal, it's in the tub, it's playing, and asking them to listen to it before the next visit with you and write down exactly what was said. That also is a very hard thing, I feel, for parents to do. And so as part of the next treatment session, I think it would be helpful if they bring their recording, bring their written out transcription or typed, and listen to some of it with them, just to make sure that they're getting down and able to see exactly what they have said without adding word endings, filling in for the child, correcting what's there. And I actually do a calculation, adding up questions and then directives, which are put the car over here, roll the ball, put that away, go get your coat, go get your shoes. Those things are directives. They have a period at the end. They're a statement, but they don't fit in my world of productive, fun, informative statements. So questions and directives become the bad guys. And add those up, divide by the total number of utterances that are in the transcribed sample, and get that division and multiply by 100, and you've got a percentage. And invariably, I have found 80% questions and directives, almost always. And then the lowly 20% for statements and exclamations, the wow and the oh boy and all that stuff. And then we have an honest talk about it, that really we're looking to switch that. So 80% statements and fun comments, exclamations, and then get those questions and directives down as low as possible. It makes everything more playful. It makes everything more fun for the parents. And it's starting to set the stage for the child to participate. And one more thing then on that matter, well, two, I also teach parents how I lead them through exercises, take to any one of their questions and show them how it can be made into a statement. Is your car going fast? Is the question. Your car is going fast. Statement. And it's eye-opening for some parents. The other thing to really watch for, and I hear it all the time, I'm out and about listening to young parents or parents with young children, and people love to put a tag on the end of a really decent statement comment, and that tag is okay. So go to your room and get a book. Okay. It's time to get in the tub. Okay. And you listen, it's there. And that turns that gorgeous statement. Well, some of those were directives, but the okay turns it into a question. And then we're back to a bad setup for the child to want to get involved in a response. Are we still good for time that we could talk for a minute and have people?
Oh, you're still good for time, but we do have some questions and comments.
Okay. Oh, there's a good from Lauren Hall.
Lauren,
as an early intervention SLP, I challenge my families to try to go one day to not ask questions. That's huge for a whole day. And I wonder, Lauren, if you can tell us how that goes. And is there any way to monitor that? Do they ever complete a recording, audio or video? I've set a 5-minute from CC. I've set a 5-minute timer before and challenged parents to not ask a single question, or the timer restarts. They find it so hard. Oh yeah. Oh my, that's something. Did I miss one at the very top above Lauren's? Sort of off topic. I know in my state has developmental mental therapists. Developmental mental. I was told they can work on speech and other language skills. What do you think of this? EI is so vital, and I'm a little worried about this, especially with them coaching parents wrong. People coaching parents better have the right information, that's for sure. One nice thing about what Lena is doing, it has its own programming, and Lena is doing the best job it can to get into childcare, early start programs, Part C programs. They're trying to get their message out. So maybe something like that, Sarah, if you could even mention that there are resources, practical resources, such as through Lena to.
Yeah, I've never heard of a developmental mental therapist. That's a new one on me.
Lauren Hall again. Some of my families are always quizzing their kids. One of my statements is stop the inquisition. People have got to stop quizzing their children, and they're kind of stuck, aren't they? And we must show them how to get around that. And we will. We have a great idea here for you. I wanted to see if people wanted to toss out some of the top tips, either that they give to parents or that they're aware of, or sort of floating out there in our field, if we want to do that for just a couple minutes. What are the things, suggestions that parents are told could be helpful to help their kids talk more or talk better? I don't see them coming in yet. Here we go. Reading. Yeah, sure. Book reading. Great.
Yep.
That should always be there. And I wonder how many of you approach it as talking a book. So giving parents permission, especially with younger children, not having to necessarily read the words that the author put there that sometimes don't match up with the pictures too well, the illustrations.
Someone suggested the wordless
to talk. What's going on in the picture, relate it to the child's life, and
there you go.
Make it more engaging.
Yeah.
Model and focus. Okay, wait. Wordless books. That really fits with what I was just mentioning.
Exactly.
The pictures carry it, and give the parent permission to be the author. And pausing, waiting to give the children time to respond. Absolutely pausing. If we can convince parents to do that, giving kids space And it's not a brief pause. Tell parents it can be 5 seconds or more, 5-6 seconds. Talk about what their child's interested in. Always a good idea. That fits with child-directed speech.
These are
Parents should have
great.
the agenda. Sharing a book. Yes, they don't have to read it. Share and comment. We must give parents permission because they think they're doing it wrong if they don't read the words. 100%. Parents feel compelled to read what's on the page. Yes, and they need permission to go off script. Thank you. Allow the wait time and sometimes awkward silence to encourage responses. And I would add, and that expectant look on the face, the raised eyebrow, the smile, the face that shows, I'm here, honey. I'm waiting for you.
Yep.
Play and be silly.
Play and be silly. Yes.
Yeah, if parents would have more fun, I think we could help them with some of their exasperation about certain aspects of child rearing, and also break them out of that cycle of having to control behavior so much, all the negative no talk. If we can get parents to be more playful, that would be wonderful. Singing and comments, statements while looking at books, stay engaged using language during daily routines so it doesn't seem like added pressure. Yes, to add something else to their day, right? So it's not that we're asking them to do something else. It's just in those moments, that routines that need to happen anyway, try using these techniques. Yes. Narrate, play instead of asking. Yes, everybody's tuned in to get parents off of asking what's happening. Make up songs about what's coming next. There's that playfulness again, and music is great. I ban my families from reading to kids. We talk about turning. Yes, get in the routine of using a book. Turn the page, pausing to follow their interests. Stay on that page a long time if they want. Move on quickly if they're not. Allow them to initiate. Let them talk about the page interest. Absolutely. So thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. What I feel one of the toppest of tips out there is narrate, provide narration of what's going on. Narrate. And my preliminary, the way I'll preface this is I'm on 2 Facebook groups that are primarily, the questions are coming from parents, and I read them because I want to know what parents are thinking about and wondering about. And also what I'm interested in what other parents say to parents. Some SLPs are on there, on those 2 sites, and that helps. But often what I read is parents say, I narrate everything. I'm talking all day long. I don't have any idea what more I can do. My child is not talking. I'm exhausted. I'm doing it. Okay. So that's my segue into my method, the upside down pyramid. Narration is one thing. And yes, there's all that nice input going in, but the parent needs to be given a strategy to crack into that with some frequency, giving the child a chance to take a turn. We need child turns. Did I say it yet? Lena created a device that a child can wear. And so there's an objective measurement of what the child is hearing and what the child is saying. And then the fabulous technology to crunch all the data. And the report gives parents 3 things back: number of adult words spoken, number of turns. The turn matters. It's not just about the parent talking, but the child has to have the chance to take a turn. So they're measuring when the child has produced an utterance after an adult. And then the third one is the number of child words produced.
Wow.
And it's powerful.
Nice.
Through all the Lena programs around the country, and I guess around the world, I'd say, the objective data are available. And in daycares, et cetera, when children it's discovered they're in language deserts, no one's talking to them. at these key months, especially 18 to 24 months, Lena has identified as crucial to their development. And it's being found that center-based daycares as a group are failing our children because the kids aren't getting child-directed speech in the amount they need. So where was I going with that? So I came up with a method a few years ago that made perfect sense to me. Let's see if it makes perfect sense to you. I haven't seen anything like it out there. I call it the upside down pyramid. I could have called it talking triangles. I could have called it tapering speech. I could have called it a lot of things. Pyramids are powerful to me. They have a triangular shape on each side, and you just keep going with it. It's a language shaping method. So you've got the parent narrating, hopefully making a lot of statements. So what shall our sentence be? I'm going to make cookies today. Let's go in the kitchen. I'm going to make cookies today, and I'm going to mix it all up. Well, instead of just rattling on, take one of the sentences, spend some seconds and shape it. So I'm going to make cookies today. I'm going to make cookies. Make cookies. Get down to a 2-word. Cookies, single word. Pause there. If the child's a single word user learning new words, pause at the single word spot. Give the child a chance to imitate. If it doesn't come, maybe up to 3 times. Cookies, with that expectant face. And again, go for the 3rd time. And if the child does not bite on it, but you still want a child turn before you move on, then go to a sound effect. Add a gesture, tummy rubbing, anything that will entice the child to jump in and take a turn. And I feel that we can do this with just about any first sentence. Shape it down. Here's what it looks like. So you're playing, you're pushing your car up the ramp. Pushing your car. You're just pulling out a phrase from your sentences. That is grammatically correct. Push the car. That's an imperative verb form. Kids love imperatives. Go home, doggy. Telling other things, telling the stuffed animals, sit up, bunny. Kids love imperatives. And then getting down to that word push. Here's another example. So you're in the kitchen or you're playing. We need to open the bag. Open the bag. Open. And maybe that's the word you hover on if you have a single word user. Get it up 3, get your models up to about 3 if it takes that long. Pause in between. Child didn't grab on it, so now you just take out a sound. Oh, you want something, and maybe the toy is in your hands and you're showing that you're ready to open this toy or box, but you're doing all this talking about it. It's a routine that you can get into. When you start with the full sentence to give context, this is where language comprehension is enhanced and the kid is clued into what are we talking about here. And then you start to shape it down slowly, hoping to get to the sweet spot where the child is going to try to imitate. Is that at the 2-word combo stage? Maybe. Is it a single word? Maybe. Is it a sound effect? Maybe. Is it the first sound of the word? Maybe. But you want to work it. And we want to teach parents to work these moments so that children have a chance to talk. I find it very effective, and I would love for you to try it. And now that you have my email address, you can give me feedback sometime. Yes, and you said this is the first time, Erica, the first time I can combine these 2 strategies. Oh, meaning narration, but then seizing the moment and finding a lovely statement comment that can then be worked down for the child's benefit. Lena talks about the target should be 40 of these completed circuits, the child turns 40 in an hour. So it's an average, but it's a 12-hour recording day with the device. Not all 12 hours. They're wakeful hour. Child is awake, but they're not all high talk hours. And there are concentrated zones, maybe 25 minutes out of an hour. There's a lot of this effort on the part of the parent or caregiver.
Okay. Mary Lou,
Yes.
no, we do not have handouts.
Yep.
I did send in the references, so they should be there. I don't know if they're there now or maybe later.
You'll find out and
I
let
guess
people
we'll
know.
find out. Yeah. But I know that you have a website. And I know that you have, I am totally sure that this is in your book,
A
right?
lot
As
is
far
in
as
my book.
finding
I
all of
really
this.
break it
Yeah.
down so that parents can understand it. I'd
I
like to
gave your
respond to
website.
Marta. She wants to know, tell us about Gestalt language learners and this strategy. Marta, look at my age. Gestalt language processing has come on in very recent years, I have a feeling. I never, in 42 and a half years, worked with a child who I felt showed me the characteristics of what I'm reading about these days. I'm a newbie in that area, and I'm going to need to bone up on it. However, I've had this thought go through my head. What if we take the child's, whatever it is, the delayed echolalia or whatever the child is saying, take it, frame it up perhaps with possibly with even a little more language at the top, and move down through slowly and show the child how it gets down to a point again where the child might imitate. So I would want to know, could this entice a child who is speaking in these memorized, if I'm saying that right, sorry, connected utterances, get them to start to break into some chunks, single words, 2-word combos, shorter phrases. Someone says they can still, thank you, CC, they can still pick up on the statements and gestalts if they're meaningful to them. Meaning, hope you're meaning if the adult shapes a statement from what the child has offered. And I often coach the same thing, transition questions to statements using lots of intonation. Yes, so that's going back to any question can be turned into a statement. I'm convinced of it. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So you are on your upside down pyramid,
Yep.
and I'm sure that there's a lot
Ooh,
there. What else? What
can I
else
have
we need to know about it?
a little more boost to it? I like to talk about the other Lena thing that's talked about, adult word counts. So if you
Oh,
think
okay.
of, I feel that the upside down pyramid is a winner in this category for boosting adult word counts. Remember, we want high talk parents rather than low talk parents. So let's say a parent is used to coming in on the child's play and asking a question, what are you doing? And that's 4 words. What if the parent sizes it up and makes a declarative statement? You're pushing your car up the ramp. Here I am back at the same words. This could be anything. Pushing your car. It's my same triangle. Push the car. Push. Guess how many words are there? 14. So we've gone from 4 words to an engaged parent who's shaping and simplifying systematically the language of that one experience. And that parent has more than tripled, almost quadrupled, tripled. We'll go there, tripled her words. So you do that over and over and over, and you're going to end up with parents with high word counts and kids who are taking turns talking. And that's what we're after.
That's nice.
Yeah. And another thing that I just have to toss in there is lately I've been thinking a lot about what would we like as learners of another language. And we can pose this to parents. And if we can get them to personalize this experience, maybe that will help them understand what their kids are going through. So we could ask a parent, have you ever wanted to learn another language? Have you tried, or are you currently trying to learn another language? What would you prefer? Would you like to have a competent speaker of that language right next to you, going through experiences with you, making sentences? So full immersion, we need full immersion, right? Isn't that the best way to learn, and not through single words? We don't want someone teaching us individual single words. We want the whole thing. But then if the tutor or the mentor could go from a full sentence and shape down for us, and we're in the bakery and we want to order something, and they get us down to the name of that pastry we want to order, then we're going to have confidence to say that to the clerk in the bakery. And then don't we also then want that able person to say it again, not just say, oh, good. We want them to say it again so we can try to catch the pronunciation better, or make sure we've got all the syllables. And I add that now because don't we hear this a lot too from parents? The child finally says something and the parent's response usually is, good job. Good job. Good job. Doesn't give any feedback about exactly what the child just said. So the child should hear the word again, because in the early stages of trying, it's the child's production is not going to be perfect. And so they need to hear it again. So we want to deal with that. Let's see. Yes, absolutely. I could reframe a child's utterance to fit into the pyramid. Marta, I think you've jumped onto this. I love it. But consider this idea of talking to parents about your child. The child isn't learning a foreign language. It's a little different for kids because of all their plasticity. They're learning their new primary language, but there are similarities, and the parent is the competent language coach, and the parent is right there to offer all that juicy input, and then look out for the child and get it down to a point where the child can imitate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where are we now?
I like it. I like it.
I'm not quitting until I hit grammatically correct. I have to.
Okay.
And then I will be quiet. And I also
no. No, that's why we're here, to learn from you, girl.
I also didn't share yet that the pyramid can go the other way. So the child can be the initiator with a single word, doggy. And then the parent is going to build that up. So I wrote, hi, doggy. And kids want to greet doggies and stuffed animals and all that. That's a big doggy. See you later, doggy, and get into some social language as you're going by in the stroller or whatever. But letting parents know that the pyramid or the triangle can go either way. I would be remiss if I don't share with you today one of my bugaboos, and that is grammatical versus ungrammatical models to children.
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned throughout our discussion that, well, this is grammatical. This is grammatical. It's a phrase. I pulled it out, but it's grammatical. I want everyone to know, if you didn't discover it already for yourself, from ASHA. So it's from Language, Speech, and Hearing Services in Schools, LSHSS, Language, Speech, and Hearing in Schools. This is from April of 2023, volume 54, April 2023, LSHSS. I love it. Speech Language Pathologist's Endorsement of Speech, Language, and Literacy Myths, MYTHS, reveals persistent research to practice gap. Researchers are working their little fannies off, and they're getting new information for all of us as clinicians, but we're slow to adopt. In fact, they cite a 17-year average. Kids born today don't have 17 years for us to catch up on this one that I'm really going to hammer away on. There are many myths here having to do with bilingual suggestions that we make to parents presenting a bilingual situation for their children, AAC, mythology, and there are three in our current area that we're talking about: language input. One is parentese, the belief that it's baby talk. It is not baby talk. We already talked about that, right? Widow Banky, little blanket. We're not talking about baby talk. We're talking about that beautiful voice that we use with our infants and young children. So my big push right now, grammatical input versus telegraphic input. There is no research to support the continuation of the practice of providing telegraphic input to children. Some clinicians even advise parents, poor things, to do this. And it's so unnatural. People will say, oh, the child's at the one word stage, so talk in single words or two words. You cannot go all day talking in 2-word combinations. It has to quit. I'm sorry. I'm very dogmatic. And this article will fill you in some more, but we may not say to children, throw ball me. No, the child's allowed to say that if we're talking about throw the ball to me. Notice what I just did. Throw the ball to me, the and the to. I made them softer. I made them shorter, but they're there. They're in place because the child has to learn accurate language. I will never say things like put sticker on shirt. No, put the sticker on your shirt. We must teach parents to do this subtle shrinking of those little words, but keeping them in. And the reason we have to is, oh, I hate when I lose a train of thought, don't you? Oh, golly, I want it back.
Telegraphic.
Yeah, you're trying to help. I warned you,
Okay.
you'd have to help me with.
While you're thinking, I'm going to say to everybody that when you do get the references, there's 2 pages, and in the middle of the references, you have this. It's the McDonald, Krim, and Shuley 2023. So, speech language pathologists' endorsement of speech language and literacy myths reveals persistent research practice gap.
Good.
Yeah, it's
I think
there.
everyone would enjoy reading that to support your current position on things, or if you're in the other camp on any of these issues, be a good learning opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. No, that's really good. And I know a lot of
Oh,
people do
I
that.
got it back. I got it back.
Good.
Okay. So we teach parents to soften, but keep in those little words like the. And here's why. Guess what parents, I feel, love to do with words like the? Give them equal and even stress. If we're telling them how to make a shorter sentence, roll the ball to me. And now it's unnatural in intonation. And the is not a key word, but it has to be in there as a function word. It belongs to the word ball. So it's throw the ball to me. They must learn that. And the other thing that parents love to do with that word is, especially in book time, especially if they're reading the words, they pronounce it as the. Roll the ball, climb the tree. So we have got to help parents for the benefit of the children. We must help them to keep things natural. Okay, I think I've beaten you up enough on this. I'm adamant about this. If you are a telegraphic promoter, I hope you'll read this article. Look up some other articles as well. I've seen this telegraphic speech being used by teachers and instructional aides. Yeah, because they think that's what they're supposed to do and they think it's helpful. Good. Eliana has found it always unnatural, and I love it. There's now a Mythbuster for it. Yeah, you can use this in your schools where you work. Ask for a staff training time, and people might give it up because they think they're supposed to do it, and you're going to teach them that they not only aren't supposed to, they shouldn't.
Okay, there's another fairly long one there, and I will repeat the name of the article. But do you see that one from Carrie?
Mm,
It's
Carrie Smith.
back.
Okay, back to the
Yeah, back.
pyramids. I have a question. What's the benefit to the pyramid being top down? I've always done the other direction and called it scaffolding. If the child shows interest in a dog, I say, ooh, dog. Now, here's where I'll disagree with you because your next one is walk dog. What does that mean exactly? The dog is walking or what? So I would make it clearer what that dog is, what the function is of that particular phrase. And then you get to a full sentence. The dog is walking. Great. I'm not happy with walk dog because it's telegraphic. Let's see.
Well, how
Yeah,
would you change that?
and I'm
Let's
gonna
walk
try. So
or
my
go
doggy
walk the
one,
dog, or
well,
you
I don't
add
know
some.
because I greeted my doggy. Hi, doggy. That's a big doggy. I went a different route with this one. And yes, so Carrie, I agree with you. If you're starting with the child's utterance, then that's when you're
Dog.
starting at this tip of the triangle and moving out. But in general, if a parent is the speaker first, it is so much more natural for parents and others to start with full sentences that are natural. And that builds context for what it is that the next few statements are going to be about. It's back to that full immersion model. We learn language through being immersed in the flow of language, and then the sensitive teacher or mentor shapes it down to a point where we can participate. I don't know how else to say that. Let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So if it's an imperative, back to Carrie's example with the dog, walk, dog. And the child, we're announcing to the dog, telling it to walk. Apparently, it isn't walking, like it's sniffing fire hydrants or something. Walk, dog. Yes.
Walk, dog.
If you
Okay.
put the intonation of an imperative command to it, kids will gobble that up. They love to command. They don't want to be commanded, but they love to do that. I would love some more examples of your pyramids because I'm a bit nervous that my scaffolding may move more into telegraphic speech now that I'm reflecting. Okay. I think if you just even make one of work some of yours down, take that phrase that you're concerned about or wondering about and say it by itself and decide, gee, is that supposed to have an article in front of that noun? So, for example, count nouns like blocks and cars and jeeps and bananas need articles in front of them. Mass nouns like milk and water and paint do not. So in fact, to help yourself, you could just even get a list of basic grammar rules. But yeah, certain things require the addition of prepositions or articles in front of them so that they are grammatically correct.
Do you have a lot of examples in your book? I
I have
sound like
a
I'm
lot of
pushing your book,
examples.
but I'm trying to find some examples. Do you have examples?
I have a lot of examples.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yes.
That really, and it's a new book. I mean, you just,
Am I allowed to show it?
sure. Let's see your book.
There it is.
Yeah. It's a
Help
good
your
one.
child speak.
She sent me one. So yeah, I'm kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good book.
I just felt that after all my years, I couldn't walk away from the profession. I had to get this information down. I want it there for parents of young children. I want
Yes.
our society to get healthier. I want kids to enter school ready to learn.
Oh, I know. I
Again, the
know. I
research will
know.
show the kids whose brains are not set up properly before they get into
Right?
school, it's split seconds behind the others, but those split seconds matter. So the kids trying to figure out what, and the sharper kids who are set up right, they're moving on. They
Yeah.
answered the
Yeah.
question
Oh,
and
I
they
know.
moved on.
It's so sad.
And
It's so sad.
all of our children deserve this opportunity. Not that everybody's the same, But if socioeconomic level does play a big role, we've got to help those parents realize how they can possibly blend this in, although they as a group tend to have busier lives. They're working 2 or 3 jobs. And so maybe we talk to them about, are there others in the family who could learn some of this? The grandma, the aunt, the older child in the family, and tune them in so that they aren't punitive and lots of no language and lots of control, and
Yeah. I
build
sometimes
up
think,
all of our children.
yeah, that parents think, oh, they'll just pick up on it, that it's innate.
Or yeah,
Yeah.
innate, or they'll
Yeah.
learn it in school.
They'll just get it. They'll just get it. It'll happen. Just like they
Yeah.
walked. It's fine. It's fine. But
So
I just appreciate all that you've said, and I just could listen to you for another hour or two or 10. And I've had a question here, like, how do you get the references? The reference, there's 2 pages. Um, if it wasn't there when you signed in, or, I do know that this course will be on Speech Therapy PD at least within a week. And I am pretty sure that it'll be there. If it isn't, then email me and I will contact them, and, or I'll double check and make sure that it's there. Also, the Telegraphic article is the McDaniel. It's 2023, and it's language, speech, and hearing services in the schools. And it's in the middle of page 2 on those resources. That's a good article. I'm going to look that one up. So,
page
all righty.
552. Wait.
Oh, well, on the second page of your articles, your references that people will get when
Oh,
they,
I
yeah,
see that
yeah,
page too.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You gave us two
Okay.
pages.
And
Yeah.
then I owe a source for that one. About 50% of kids will.
Yeah, I didn't see it on here.
No, I have to do a little digging,
Google
and
it.
I will work on that.
Yeah. Okay. Woo. Good, good, good. Well, thank you, Mary Lou. You are a wealth of ideas, and thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
And also, if you're a person that plans ahead, and you work with kids with Down syndrome, then you'll definitely want to tune in next time on the Speech Link with Jennifer Gray, SLP, she also is an expert in that area. It will be Thursday, April 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here at SpeechTherapyPD.com. And in closing, I do want to thank everybody for being here and tuning in and for getting the word out about the SpeechLink podcast. And just so that you know, as I was saying, you will be able to access this course through Speech Therapy PD and watch it again if you want. Access the references, here in, I'm going to say at least a week or less. It's usually not any longer than a week. Also, if you want to just listen to the audio version, you can listen to it on most podcast apps. And I do want to thank you for your supportive comments and your good reviews on all of those. And Mary Lou, I want to thank you again. And to all of you, I do hope that you realize how very appreciated you are.